If you have that aching pain right here in the front of your shoulder that won't go away, you're gonna wanna try these 4 exercises. As a physical therapist who's helped hundreds of people with shoulder pain, especially those who have already been to physical therapy, I can already tell you that these exercises I give you are gonna be unique and something you've never seen before, even at a traditional PT place. So if you try these 4 exercises and they help you, which I know they will, then check out the rest of our page for more free tips. All right, so the first exercise that we're gonna do is actually gonna treat the shoulder indirectly. It's gonna help reposition the shoulder blade. And the reason that matters is because the shoulder blade is actually the socket of the shoulder. So it's gonna improve the relationship between the ball and socket joint, so the relationship between the head of the shoulder and the socket of the scapula. So what we're gonna do is grab one of these bands that you probably saved from your old PT and you're gonna throw it around your wrists, okay? And then you're gonna find a wall and you're gonna let your forearms be on the wall flat. Now if you notice, look at my shoulder angle. Right about here would be a perfect L, so that would be 90 degrees. I want you to be below 90 degrees, okay? This way we're not shrugging our shoulders. From here, I want you to turn your palms so they face you, and then you're gonna get a little bit of tension on the band. That's gonna fire up the back of your shoulders. Now from here, I don't want you to pinch your shoulder blades together. I actually want you to reach your shoulder blades and reach your chest away from the wall. And then from here, you're gonna work on your breathing. So you're gonna breathe in through your nose to stretch out that area around your shoulder blade and all the muscles around the shoulder blade. And then you're gonna breathe out, and you're gonna do this for 6 breaths. And by the end, the back of your shoulder should burn. So you're gonna breathe into your upper back. I want you to repeat this 3 times for 6 breaths. You're gonna feel the back of your shoulders get nice and toasty, warm, and we're helping, again, reposition those shoulder blades. So the next one we're gonna do is called a shoulder corkscrew. So what I'm gonna do is demonstrate it first and then explain why we're doing it. So what you're gonna do is lay on your back, knees bent. From here, you're gonna take a really light weight. Now I'm using a 10-pound dumbbell just because I'm experienced with this, but if your shoulder's flared up and it's painful, I would drop it to a 5. From here, you're gonna punch this dumbbell up to the ceiling, but you're gonna get a little extra reach through your shoulder blade. We call it protraction of the shoulder blade. Okay, we're gonna do that without firing up your chest or without firing up the front of your shoulder. So I want you to really feel like you're just reaching through your shoulder blade a little bit. Now from here, all you're gonna do is slightly turn your hand one direction and then turn it back the other way. Now the whole time you do this, I want you to imagine that you have a golf ball on a tee and you don't want the golf ball to fall off either ends of the tee. You just want it to spin right there on the tee. Now, sometimes if the front of your shoulders flared up, turning your hand in or turning it towards the thumb side could inflame it more. And so with that, all you're gonna do is reduce the amount that you turn it. That's okay. Even if you feel like you're not going all the way, start off nice and easy, and as we do more sets of this, you're gonna realize that you're gonna be able to turn your shoulder a little bit further every time. Now, typically the way we do this, we wanna go 2 times for about 90 seconds, and it should really start to burn your shoulder. Now, the reason we're doing this is because the head of the shoulder sits in the socket, and it's a rotatory joint, meaning we're required to get all degrees of rotation through the shoulder. This exercise trains the ability of that shoulder to rotate in the socket again, but without getting any other additional movement, so we're not gonna be banging into the socket or flaring up the symptoms. And obviously, as we're holding the weight up there for a long period of time, that 90 seconds, we are getting your shoulder rotator cuff to contract and create some stability in your shoulder. All right, so exercise number 3 is going to be a cable row. So what you're gonna do is set it up like the first exercise, where right here would be 90 degrees of your shoulder. I want you to be below 90. So you're gonna go ahead and grab this weight here. I like to bring that same foot back, so I'm kind of in like a split stance position. It's not necessary. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna drive your elbow straight back so that your elbow is in line with your rib cage. You're actually not gonna go past that just yet. So you're gonna get a full reach in, row that weight back. Full reach in, row that weight back. And what we want to do is continuously progress so that we're driving the elbow back more and more, because it's going to create a little bit of a stretch on the front side of the shoulder. But we don't want to row our elbow back so much. A lot of people do this, they dump their whole shoulder forward. So if they're rowing, they're doing this, and then they're dropping their chest and rolling their shoulder forward. That's actually going to put a ton of stress on that front of the shoulder where you're having the pain already. So again, we want a nice tall chest, row back, get a full reach in. Now, let's say we can do that and there's absolutely zero problem, zero issue. Then what we can do on the same day is bring the cable column up, and we're going to do what I call a high to low row. It kind of looks like a lat pull down, but it's not quite all the way up here. So let me show you that. So we're going to bring this cable up. Okay, we're going to step back in the exact same position. We're going to squat down so that basically we're able to bring our arm up. And then from here, we're going to do the same thing. So you're going to bring your elbow towards your rib cage, drive that weight down. Same thing applies where we don't want to roll our shoulder forward or drop our chest. So full reach at the top, pull down. Full reach at the top and pull down. Now, if this bothers you, what that tells me is that you want to step further away from the cable, because look at the difference. If I'm really close to the cable, see how much my arm is technically overhead or flexed? But watch, if I just simply back up, now my arm naturally goes lower, and that's going to put less stress on the front of the shoulder and allow you to really work through this range of motion here. So what I like to see is about 4 sets. You're going anywhere from 12 to 20 reps. That's how you know it's an appropriate weight. It's not too heavy, but it's also not too light. It should get a good pump in the arm. All right, so the final exercise is a farmer's carry. So the purpose of the farmer's carry is to improve shoulder stability and actually improve the way that your rotator cuff fires in a dynamic pattern. And so what we're doing is you want to use a relatively heavy load or a heavy weight without it being so heavy that it pulls your shoulder forward. We want to keep a nice tall chest and grip these kettlebells hard. What's happening is this weight is effectively trying to pull your shoulder out of the socket, and so it requires all your rotator cuff muscles to fire up without it looking like your traditional like banded shoulder exercise that actually really isn't applicable to real life. So using a heavy carry is something that's way more applicable in real life and will really fire up your shoulder and create shoulder stability. So typically I like to go for 60 seconds, so a full minute, typically 4 or 5 rounds of this. If you don't have the space, guys, you could just stand there and hold, or if you're not embarrassed in the gym, you can just march in place as you hold the weight. Again, you want to have a weight that's challenging, but it's also not pulling you down and actually hurting your shoulder more than it's doing good. All right, guys, so those are the 4 best exercises I can give you as a physical therapist who's seen hundreds of patients with shoulder pain. And guys, if you do this consistently every other day for about 3 to 4 weeks, you should notice a remarkable improvement in your shoulder pain. So as always, if this helped, guys, please like, share, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you at the next one.